Advocating for Accommodations, TVI Perspective. Learn how a teacher for the visually impaired, TVI, helps a student advocate for accommodations. On screen is a smiling teacher.
Hello, parents and caregivers, and welcome to MDE LIO's Parent Educational Video Series, where we break down the mystery of big educational labels and the little acronyms that represent them. I'm Amy Shepard, Parent Liaison to the Michigan Department of Education Low Incidence Outreach, or MDE LIO for short. And that, folks, is our first acronym. As Parent Liaison, I'm always striving to share educational and community resources with families through conversations and active learning. I'm the parent of a young man who is legally blind, a community advocate, and a constant collaborator. Today, I'm excited to have two guests join me. The first is my longtime friend and co-worker at the Washtenaw Intermediate School District, WISD for short, Michelle Danilowitz, who is a teacher consultant for the visually impaired, and that acronym is TCVI. She is also a certified orientation mobility specialist, which we abbreviate as COMS. Hi, Michelle. I'm excited to have you here today.
Hi, Amy. Thanks for having me.
Today, I will be talking with Michelle about how she has worked with one of her students, Brandon Kim, a senior at Huron High School, on making sure that he has the accommodations he needs to access his work and to be successful in school. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Amy.
So, Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself and when you first started working with Michelle.
Yeah, so as Amy mentioned, I am a senior here in high school. I'm also on the swim team, and I used to be in the band. So I started working with Michelle around second grade, and she started out as only my TCVI, but later became my TCVI and O&M specialist.
So you've been working together for a really long time.
Yes.
So Michelle, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you support students like Brandon.
Well, as you already mentioned, I'm a teacher consultant for the visually impaired, TCVI, and orientation and mobility specialist, COMS, for students in Washtenaw County. My main role is providing students access to the curriculum. I provide support and guidance to classroom teachers, students, and guardians, including accessible materials, assistive technology, and travel skills in the community, such as street crossings and bus travel. I also help to make sure there is appropriate accessibility in the school buildings, such as proper signage, high contrast tape on the stairs and doors for safety.
Michelle, I am always amazed at how much you do on a daily basis. So let's talk more about the process of how a student gets assigned a teacher consultant for the visually impaired.
Sure, the process typically begins with a meeting between the student's guardian, the classroom teacher, and the school's special education teacher consultant, also known as the TC. After the initial meeting, the TC at the school will contact the WISD, where the TCVI is assigned to the student. Soon after, a meeting for the entire team, including student guardians, TCVI, classroom teachers, and the school's TC, hold an individualized education program, or IEP.
So how long would you say that this process typically takes?
It takes about 30 school days to do the evaluation and then hold the IEP.
Okay, and once the IEP is in place, then you're able to start working with your student on their IEP goals and their accommodations.
That is correct.
So Brandon mentioned earlier that his accommodations changed over the years as his functional visual needs changed. How have you managed all these changes, Michelle?
Open communication with the family, the students, and the teachers is very important. It is a team effort. So Brandon, his mom, and his teachers let me know when the accommodations in the classroom weren't working anymore. How did you and your mom manage these changes, Brandon?
Yeah, so early on in my education, since my vision is progressive, I did use a large print and a CCTV to do all my work, but after a few years, I did notice that it was getting really hard to see and the text was too small. So working with Michelle and my mom, we found out that a digital format on an iPad would be the best way to do my work, and then we collectively communicated that with my teachers.
Brandon's mom was very involved and did lots of research to know what accommodations work best for him. We found that the iPad worked best for him to access materials. The district provided him with an iPad and he could access school material through OCR scanning, which didn't always work the best. It had glitches, but has since improved. So I, with Mom and Brandon, explored sets of apps on the iPad, and we've decided what works best for him, and he's been using it since.
Well, that's a lot of assistive technology over the years. So tell me a little bit more about the process for getting assistive technology for your student.
For our ISD and local districts, to obtain a new assistive technology for a student, you have to initiate a technology plan. So that way you can start trialing devices with the student, and then you get together with the technology coordinator for the district to get these devices for the student. But it also needs to be documented in the IEP.
Yeah, and that's a really important process for parents to know about. Were there anybody else on the IEP team that helped Brandon with his accommodations?
Yes, his teaching assistant, TA, or paraprofessional, which is, I feel like, a very important person on the team. In elementary school, his mom and the team requested a TA for Brandon before transitioning to middle school and getting more intense with academics. So to ensure the smooth transition, Brandon had a TA in 5th grade who then moved with him to middle school and now into high school.
Wow, that's so smart to plan ahead like that. So tell us more about the process for requesting a TA.
Yep, so the IEP team, including the guardians, make the decision based on need. It is different for every student in the school, but in Brandon's situation, it is based on his progressive visual impairment and the amount of support he needed daily. This was based on work preparation and his access to the curriculum. Brandon needed all of his work adapted in every class, enlargements, scanning, and some Braille work. And this showed the additional need for that support. So Brandon's TA was available to work daily with the teachers and adapt it for him.
Wow, that's a lot of work and a lot of collaboration among all of you. So far, we've covered how Brandon has used a variety of accommodations to be able to access the general ed curriculum, but we also know that students in high school have to take standardized tests. And that involves requesting accommodations in a whole different way from the college boards. So Michelle, what would you say was the most important part of that process?
Communication early and often. You must contact the key staff who will be ordering the material because they don't often know what the students need. It is important to prepare this ahead of time and have documentation for those specific accommodations needed. And it also needs to be documented in the IEP over the years to show the need.
And it sounds like you were all able to make that happen for Brandon, which is a huge compliment to your IEP team. Brandon, do you have any thoughts to add?
Yeah, after all these years, my IEP team has been super supportive and really helpful.
Well said, Brandon, and I think that's a perfect place to wrap things up. Parents and caregivers, please be sure to visit the MDE LIO website for more videos in our Parent Educational Video Series. See you next time!
Learn more at mdelio.org. Find more videos, get resources, and learn how MDE LIO can support you.